Yeah. Brassy girls everywhere. Titty ass hands in the air. So party over here. Shaking for the man of the year. Oh, man of the year.
Alright, what is up, everybody? It is Bearded Catman 43 back at you again with another video. So this video is kind of off of a whim. I had some ideas for some other videos, but I'm still working out the kinks. For some reason, every bit of software that I'm using sucks. OBS doesn't want to use the windows. Finally got that somewhat fixed, but now it's still a little choppy, so I'm still working on trying to get that all adjusted right. So I thought I would just throw something on here along the lines of what I want to do, with reviews, talking about movies, and I was going to do one of the recent movies that came out, and that everybody's already seen, and so I was thinking, I was like, what movie have I seen lately that probably not a lot of people has seen? And I got an epiphany. So that movie that we are talking about is called We Are Still Here. And so here's the cover to it, the poster. And so what this movie is it's a horror movie. Kind of was a low-key thing. If you're in any horror or anything at all, you might have seen it. But the thing that really got me, that made me want to watch it, was the fact that Rotten Tomatoes gave it 95%, which is crazy because they just gave Batman vs. Superman 31%. So, I was assuming it was going to be, one of your typical B-list horror movies that isn't the greatest, but is watchable. Well, this is not one of those movies to me. IMDb gave it a 5.7 out of 10, which is still decent, for a horror movie like this that, wasn't the talk of the town, like the Insidious movies and, all of those other ones that are coming out, Annabelle and all those. So the premise behind the movie is every 30 years, a lonely old house in the fields of New England wakes up and demands a sacrifice. And so the thing with this is the ghosts are done very well. They're not your typical ghosts. They're actually it's just not necessarily a spoiler because you can see it in the trailer, which I'll actually post a link down in the description for if you want to take a look at that. But they're not your typical ghost because the fact that they're all charred, like they were burned, and they're just menacing looking, like just crazy. And there's a few jump scares in there, so be prepared for that. There's a seance where one of the guys gets possessed and is pretty crazy. But it's along the same lines as your typical, horror film. But I will let you know that it is very gruesome. So probably shouldn't watch it with your kids. Or if you get scared easy, I wouldn't watch it alone at night. Like I'm a huge horror fan, so anything, even if it's B-list, I still enjoy watching, just because of the fact that, if the storyline is good, the effects and things don't have to be. We clearly, seen that in older horror films, Evil Dead and things like that, where the effects weren't great, but it was great for us. They're classics, and so you can't go into a lot of horror movies expecting a great 100% perfect movie, because they push so many of them out. There's not a whole lot when it comes to creativity from say the movie industry when it comes to horror films. Just like possessions have been a huge thing lately. So they came out with 20 movies in the last 5 years on possessions. And so eventually we'll get back into sort of that slasher genre. I can't wait because I love my slasher films. But so I'm as a horror fan, I'm looking to get past the possession style movie, and your Insidious and stuff, where it's kind of I want something that's so more based on like classic movies, slasher films, and uh, something like an Amityville Horror, but not necessarily exactly like that, because we did have the Ryan Reynolds remake. Um, but they have so much stuff that they can do, but they target on one single group, or category of horror, and everything else that could become really good movies gets put off as being a B-list movie, or the smaller companies are the ones doing the movies that people actually that are into horror want to see. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy all of these movies that are coming out, but I would prefer to see something more like, sorry, mirrored image. um, I would like to see stuff more like this. There is a possession in there, but it's part of the movie. It's not like a demonic possession where it's a typical good Christian girl that gets overtaken by the devil. Not like that. It's a spirit. It's a ghost. It's something a little bit different in the way they go about it, and sort of the ending really kind of takes you for a loop, and makes you really enjoy sort of the build up, because there's not a whole lot of scary, which I think would be good for some people, but there are those occasional jump scares, and those moments. But it's definitely a movie you want to check out if you're a horror fan, or if you're a guy wanting to get closer to your girl, on date night. So what I will do is I will go ahead and I will put the link to the trailer down in the description, so you guys can go ahead and take a look. When I get everything situated, which I'm going to be working on quite a bit. I worked on it a lot last night, just trying to tweak and get everything right, so that I can put out a good reaction video. So it's still taking some time, but we'll get there. Pretty soon we'll hit the ground running, and we'll get this thing on its feet. Whoop, excuse me. So yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at the trailer down below, and go ahead and subscribe. And once again, if you have your own channel, drop it in the comments. I'll go ahead and subscribe back to you and watch some of your videos. You pat my back, I'll pat yours. And so go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you guys later.